It's hard for me to put on weight, so today I'm going to show you everything I'm eating on a bulk. For breakfast, I'm having 6 eggs. In a pan, I'm adding olive oil for extra calories. I'm cracking 6 eggs. Then I'm just going to keep mixing until I make scrambled eggs.
Right, people, I'm going to show you how not to be small for the rest of your life in this video. It's actually pretty easy. It doesn't matter if you're one of these people who are like, oh, no matter what I eat 5,000 calories a day and I still don't grow. It doesn't matter if you're one of these people that is absolutely delusional. It doesn't matter if you're someone that's just starting their training journey and maybe you don't want to waste all your time in the gym. You actually want to do things right. I'm going to take you through a super simple, super effective, full guide. I'm not going to hide anything behind paywalls. I'm obviously not to give you my entire training routine. But we're going to sit down. We're going to get comfortable. We're going to have a little chat. We're going to sit on the casting couch like you're my very special friend. And I'm going to explain to you as a mate how to actually put on size, like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and how it's actually incredibly easy if you just follow these few things. I've trained for a pretty long time. I've been skinny more times than I count. I've lost all of my gains from illness, from being in hospital, literally lost 10, 20 kilos, everything. And I've had to build up from square one so many times. But first, right, let me just go through this acoustic individual's full day of eating, Jack. There's a few things that he could do to actually make some gains. So let's break down his full day of eating. I will tell you everything that he's doing wrong.
It's hard for me to put on weight, so today I'm going to show you everything I'm eating.
It's hard for him to put on weight because he's eating about 1,500 calories a day, bro. It's literally like this full day of eating, just watch it.
For breakfast, I'm having 6 eggs.
Eggs, good source of protein. He's only having 6 though, which is all right. It's got a decent amount of protein in. Using oil to bump up calories, not bad. That's a good protein base to breakfast. Now added some cheese, some extra calories as well.
That is a lot of egg, but just what you need on a bulk.
First big problem here is where are the carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are absolutely imperative if you want to optimize the amount of muscle that you gain. And he's eating no carbs, bro. If he literally ate 2 white bagels, that'd be 80 grams of carbohydrates, an extra 500 calories with that meal. Gets rid of the clear whey. Right, bacon and noodles is probably something that a council estate mum would feed a 6-year-old child.
And there we have it, mince and rice for tea. All in all, a very good bulking day.
Right, so that is a an awful bulking day. Jack probably ate a total of about 1,600 calories off the top of my head. Nowhere near enough protein. Nowhere near enough carbohydrate. So literally, if he made some simple changes by having bagels as the first meal in the morning, second meal having pasta instead of noodles, having 150 grams of pasta, having a bit of chicken or having even more bacon or a bit of beef at second meal to add more protein, and then adding an extra meal or 9, he probably would have hit his macronutrients. If you eat anything like this, man, you're going to stay small forever. There's no way of sugarcoating it. You will not gain muscle like that. You will not make any progress like that. The first step to making any kind of progress at all, at anything, the first thing before we get into it is do not be delusional, bro. And if you're watching this thinking, oh, I'm not delusional, I'm really real with myself, but then you still can't gain muscle, or you still can't get to where you want to be, you are completely delusional. So literally, the first step is being completely, brutally, the first and most important thing is being completely, brutally honest with yourself, not being delusional. Are you doing everything you can? Are you doing the right things the majority of the time, 80, 90% of the time? Or are you slacking off? Are you not weighing your food? Are you not tracking your macros? Are you having days where you're kind of just oh yeah, I'll do this tomorrow? It's more painful to be real with yourself, bro, but you'll realize that you have to be real with yourself and not delusional. And that is the first step. And it is painful because you're going to admit your own shortcomings, that maybe this is your fault versus some external thing that you're flowers to, your mum, your girlfriend, your work, your school, your body needing 9,100,000 trillion calories to grow, which is a crock of shit. And if you're oh, I'm not delusional, just click off this video because there's literally no hope for you. There is no hope. You'll never make any gains. Now the weak, delusional people have gone, let's get into it. I'm going to take you through the exact same process that I will take my coaching clients. If someone signs up with me for one-on-one coaching, this is very, very similar to what I would do for them to make sure that they optimize progress. There are only 3 things that you need to focus on, and we're going to go over each one of these 3 fundamental things. It's literally, if you do these 3 things alone, that is all you need to do. The majority of people are super confused by all of the BS over the internet, telling you to do all this different stuff and all this complicated stuff. And it's there's so much noise. The only 3 core things that you need to do that are super easy, get forgotten about. So the first thing we're gonna look at is your food and tracking your food. The second thing is your weight and tracking your weight. And the third thing is your training and tracking your training. That is literally it. The most important thing about this is we're gonna track those 3 things. So what gets measured gets managed. And basically what that means is if we're tracking something, we're able to really, really control it. This thing up here is gonna be responsible for for pretty much all of your results. The first thing you want to do is track your food, boys and girls. You want to track exactly what you're eating every single day, because if you don't track your food, you are being delusional. Like, we're always going to think we're eating more than we are. We're always going to be like, oh yeah, we're having enough food. I've eaten this meal. You're going to kind of add it up and be like, yeah, that's fine. At the end of the day, man, what are you trying to do? You're trying to transform the way that your body looks. You're trying to gain muscle. And for years and years and years and years, your body has been exactly the same. So you have built up these habits where you will eat the exact right amount of food, and you will delude yourself into thinking that you've eaten like more than you normally do, or you've had enough food, yet your body remains exactly the same because you're not eating enough food. So in order to break this habit, in order to like break this cycle and actually to force your body to change, you need to do things that you never normally do, aka eat more food than you normally eat. The only way you're going to be able to consistently do that on a day-by-day basis, like week in, week out, no matter how busy you are, no matter like what you're up to, is by tracking your food, because we'll always default to the path of least resistance. And your habits aren't just going to magically change. So if you don't do these things like track your food, then you're literally going to be wasting your time. It doesn't look like Jack has made much progress at all, if any. Like, literally, what has this guy been doing? And I can guarantee that he has not been tracking his food religiously or doing any of these things to make the progress, or it'd be a hell of a lot further than where he is right now. What you want to do is get on an app, something like MyFitnessPal, something to track your food and make sure you can track what you're eating on a day-by-day basis. You don't have to do this every day if you eat the same stuff every day. But if you vary your diet in any way whatsoever, you want to track every single thing, you want to weigh every single thing, you want to weigh the raw weight of it before it's been cooked, and you want to make sure that you're tracking your food every day. Is it going to be fun? No. Is it going to take a while to get used to? Yes. Is it going to be tedious? Probably. But there is a reason that a majority of people are small and fail like gaining muscle, or fail going to the gym and quit after a year or so because they see no progress. If you don't want to waste your time, you need to be doing this. How much should you eat? Again, we'll keep this super simple, super quick, because there's loads of videos on like calculating your macros and all this stuff. Easiest way to do it is 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. Simple. If you weigh 180 pounds, you eat 180 grams of protein per day. Literally go on a calorie calculator, put in your height and weight, and then calculate your maintenance calories, and then eat a couple of hundred calories above that. In 1 gram of protein, there is 4 calories. So what you want to do is take the number of proteins in grams that you want to eat, 180, times that number by 4, and you will get this. This is the amount of calories that you're getting from protein. If we take someone who is 180 centimeters, 75 kilograms, their maintenance calories is around 2,600 calories. We're just going to add 200 calories to that to make it 2,800. That is going to be the amount of calories that you start to bulk on. Next up, we'll calculate your fat intake. Fat is going to be about 25% of your total calories. So we take 2,800 times it by 0.25, which is 25%. That equals 700 calories. In 1 gram of fat, there is 9 calories. So we take that number, 700 divided by 9, and that equals 77. 2,800 calories, 77 grams of fat, 180 grams of protein, and everything else is going to be from carbohydrates. Literally that simple. Little Timmy's bulking macros are going to be 2,800 calories, 180 grams of protein, 77 grams of fat, and 345 grams of carbohydrates. And that is literally it. That number of calories is probably going to be wrong. What you want to do is pick a number of calories, eat that amount of food, and then just make sure that you're gaining weight on a week-by-week basis on that amount of food. If you're not gaining weight and you're eating every single day those amount of calories, then add in 25 grams of carbohydrates, which would be 100 calories, and just slowly increase the amount of calories you're eating by increasing the amount of carbohydrates you're eating as well. Keep doing that, go on it for a week, and then you'll get to a point where your weight is slowly increasing by eating that same amount of food every single day. Stick to that, and then when it starts to slow, eat a bit more food. The main thing is that you consistently track your food and eat the same amount every single day. What gets measured gets managed. So what you want to do ultimately is you want to coach yourself. Like, the whole premise of this video, you can literally click off it after this bit. Like, this is the main point of the video that I want to get to you, is you want to coach yourself. People pay tens of thousands of dollars for a coach. I coach hundreds of men who pay a lot of money to be coached, and literally not everyone can afford a coach. You want to coach yourself. So what I've done down below is a link to this sheet right here. This is basically the coaching sheets that I used to use to coach clients. I now use an app called OneFit to coach my clients, because it's a little bit easier, but this is still absolutely fantastic. So what I've done is down below, completely for free, I've put a link for this, and this will enable you to coach yourself. So what you want to do is you want to put in your macros here. You can have training day and non-training day macros if you want, or you can just have the same macros every single day to keep it a bit easier. If you do want different macros, if you look, you can just have slightly less carbohydrates, slightly less calories on the non-training day. I suggest just having the same macros every single day. So here you've got your targets, you've got your daily steps that you want every single day, and then you've got cardio as well if you want to do cardio. Make a copy of the document document, save it on your own Google Drive, get it on your laptop, get it on your phone. Every single day, put your weight in, put your steps in, put your cardio in. If you're doing it, you don't really need it to gain muscle. And then put the amount of protein, carbs, and fats that you've eaten every single day as well. And what that'll do is this will calculate the amount of calories that you've had in a day. So what you're doing here is you've got a graph that will track your average weight. So you can see the trend of how your weight is changing. It'll automatically go over there. You'll see the amount of calories you're eating every single day. And then on Sunday, at the end of the week, go onto the graph, look at the weekly review, put in your weekly information and look at how you've done. And you should see a nice increase in your weight. And what you're basically doing is you are coaching yourself. You're not being delusional. You're measuring your variables. You're measuring what you're eating. And you can see like if you're under eating most of the time because you're getting average calories from every single day. Put that down below completely for free. And this is exactly the same as what I'm using right now. Food is the most important thing. Eat 3 to 6 meals a day, whatever you prefer. Don't snack. If you're one of these people that feels full all the time, that struggles to eat food, snacking is the worst possible thing that you can do. Eat proper meals of proper food. And the biggest thing that you can do, obviously you're trying to break a habit. You've eaten a certain way for your entire life, which is the reason that you look how you want to look. Like your body is a system that wants to remain exactly how it is. So you're trying to like buck this trend. You're trying to go against your body. Literally the issue with 99.9% of people that come to me for coaching and want to gain muscle is if you fail to prepare to fail. So what you want to do to break this habit is start prepping your food, boys. On Sunday, you want to prep your meals for the week. And the reason you do that is because you will always go to the path of least resistance. You are going to be busy. You're going to be stressed. You're going to have schoolwork. You're going to have work. You're going to work overtime. There is always going to be a time where you don't have enough time and you have an excuse not to do what you need to do. So if you prep all your food and prepare on the Sunday, no matter what comes up, bro, you literally have no excuse. Meal number 1, overnight oats. Literally get 80 grams of oats, 1 scoop of protein in, add 200 grams of milk, add some banana, add some strawberry, and that is meal number 1. Put it in the fridge overnight, and that is your breakfast prepped. Meal number 2, chicken in the oven or air fryer for about half an hour on 180 degrees, some jasmine rice, some veg, some peri sauce, and you've got Nando's peri chicken style meal for pretty much every day that week. If you want some high protein, muscle building, inspiration for tasty, delicious, quick, easy food, the Aesthetic Cookbook is now live on the App Store. Check it out down below, boys. I will be adding loads of recipes to it as well, and there's so much stuff in there, but that will make your life a million times easier. Food selection is going to be very important, and you want to eat things that are calorie dense, so high in calories, and don't take up a lot of space in your stomach. Let me show you a little real world example here. We've got sugar puffs and we've got granola. These two bowls are the exact same weight, boys, and look how much space like they occupy compared to each other. Rather than having rice or wheat-based cereal, try having things like granola, which are super high in calories. Rather than eating things like bread, you can have things like bagels, which are more dense. You can have things like pasta, which are even more dense again. Basically, they're going to fit in your stomach easier. So protein sources, things like eggs, chicken, red meat, oily fish, whey protein, nut butters, fat sources, nuts and seeds, obviously nut butters, oil like Jack Fit is eating, avocado, cheese. Carbohydrates, man, are so important because these are actually going to help you build muscle. Things like sweet potatoes, jasmine rice, pasta, spaghetti. If you're someone that struggles with appetite, avoid eating things that are whole grain. So for example, like whole grain pasta or whole grain rice, because the fiber is going to ultimately fill you up. And also, like the biggest one from all of this food stuff is make your food taste good. Salt is your best friend. So salt and sugar, salt and sweet is what makes food taste really good. And the reason why like a takeout or a takeaway probably tastes amazing and your bland, shitty food tastes bland and shitty is because the amount of salt and sugar on there. So if you make stuff and you add a little bit of sugar or you add a bit of sweetener if you don't want the sugar, but just add a bit more salt than usual, it will taste so good and you'll be able to eat so much more of it. Another unethical bulking hack, right, is MSG. So MSG, do you know when you eat Chinese food and you just cannot stop eating it? Like literally you're eating it to a point where you feel like you go throw up. That is because of this wonderful thing called MSG, which literally makes you more hungry. Get some MSG, put it on your food, season it. It will taste absolutely amazing. You'll become a Michelin star chef when you give this food to other people and you'll like be able to destroy meals. So MSG is a big hack. Final thing of food is if you struggle to eat with no distraction. What you can do is sit down, put a timer on your phone for say 10-15 minutes and you have to eat this food within this time frame. If you're on your phone, if you're scrolling through TikTok, social media, if you're going really slowly, then you are going to fill up as you're eating that food. So you want to get it down fairly quick within a certain time window, and that's going to make consuming the calories a hell of a lot easier. Second thing is tracking your weight. And we've touched on this already, but what you want to do is track your weight every single day at the same time. Numbers do not lie. If you've got a graph showing your weight and how your weight is changing or not changing, you know that you are being a delusional idiot of yourself and you're wasting your time. And you either need to quit or do something different in order to change it. Mr. Jack Fit, for example, if he was tracking his weight every single day and was ensuring that it was gaining around a pound a week and then tracking his food as well, would he look completely different to how he looks now? Absolutely. If you're coaching yourself, you're on my coaching sheets, you're doing it every single day and looking at that nice upwards trend and doing that day by day, you know that you're making making progress, man. Half a pound is fine. 1 pound a week is fine. As long as it is going up in the right direction, you know you're eating enough food and you're doing the right thing. Third and final thing, and this is kind of obvious, and this is training. Training, okay, is this massively overcomplicated thing that people are going to be telling you to, oh, do supersets and do drop sets. You want to do high intensity training till failure. You want to do 4 sets of 8 to 12 in order to gain muscle. You want to do this, you want to do that. Filled with absolute BS. If you want to train effectively and have a good training program, then look to train everything twice a week. So high frequency, look to put in some effort. So high intensity, training pretty hard, and look to get sufficient volume as well. And like all these other things, the most important thing here is that you do it consistently. And with the training, the most important thing here is that you track your lifts. And again, this is something that people just don't do because they're like, oh, I go to the gym, I work hard, I get stronger. Then why do you look exactly the same, bro? If you're going to the gym, you're effectively trying to break down your muscle. You're trying to apply this like evolutionary pressure that's going to trick your body into growing, into like effectively evolving to make it more suitable for the environment. If you're just starting in the gym, you can literally walk into the gym, touch a dumbbell, and you will grow. It is that easy to make gains when you start. Anywhere between 3 to 6 days a week is going to be completely fine. If I was training for 3 days a week, I'll probably do something like 3 times full body sessions per week. 4 days a week, upper, lower, upper, lower. 5 days a week, something like a push-pull legs, upper, lower split with the rest in between. 6 days a week, push-pull legs, but I probably wouldn't train 6 days a week. You don't really need to train that much. The most important thing is considering what's optimal, so doing the right thing, what's practical to you, what can you actually do, like day in, day out, and what is enjoyable, bro. When you're finding or when you're making a training program, those are the 3 most important things. You could be on the most optimal plan in the world. Like a lot of coaches do this, like the most optimal, perfect plan in the world. But if it's not practical for you, so like if you're going to the gym at peak time and the equipment's not available, you're going to fail. If it's not enjoyable, you're not going to keep doing it. So what's practical, what's optimal, and what's enjoyable need to be considered. My absolute favorite way of training is by doing a 2-day on, 1 day off split. I've just started a new split where I'm only training 4 days a week. Sometimes I train a little bit more, but what it means by training 2 days on and 1 day off is you're getting a good amount of rest. The days vary as well. So you can train for 2 days, have a rest day, train for 2 days, have a rest day, and just repeat that. I'll put a PDF for my exact program that I'm running. I literally made this today that I'm running right now. My new program I just started down below on sale if you want to get that. If we draw a graph of volume, it's going to look like this shape. So what we want to do is find this sweet spot of volume where we're maximizing the amount of progress that we're doing, but we're not in the gym for hours and hours and hours and hours. The general rule is for every 100% increase in volume, so every time you double volume, rather than doing 10 sets, you do 20 sets, you get a 50% increase in the gains that you make. You don't want to do too little or you're missing out on progress, but you don't want to do too much or you're going to be wasting your time in the gym and doing junk volume. In terms of reps and sets, the sweet spot for volume about here is going to be between 10 to 20 sets per body part per week. In terms of reps, anywhere between 6 to 15 reps, but the most important thing in all of this is that you are tracking your lifts, boys. Again, what gets measured gets managed. That doesn't mean adding weight every single week. It could mean adding weight every single week, but it might mean doing an extra rep as well. And that's the reason that when I train, I like to train within rep ranges rather than set reps. For example, if I'm doing a chest press as the first exercise, on my first set, I'll do between 6 and 10 reps, anywhere in between there. I'll aim to beat my set from last week by looking at my weight, by tracking my data. Then my second set, I'll do between 12 to 15 reps. So basically, I have a rep range where I'm looking to increase the reps or increase the weight every single week. In terms of training, how hard should you train? Ultimately, the majority of people do not train hard enough. That is literally the cold hard truth. Like when people say training till failure, they mean like scraping out reps, like ripping apart their muscles, like going like balls to the absolute wall. The vast majority of people have probably never done a set like that in their life. So the best way to train is probably going to be quite intense, probably to around 1 rep in reserve, where you're really challenging yourself, you're working hard, you're getting close to your point of failure, but you're not going to your absolute failure on every single set. And for me, that is the best way to train, like high intensity, really pushing hard in the gym, but also leaving like 1 rep in reserve, like so you're not scraping out, making yourself prone to injury, you're not accumulating loads of fatigue. That 1 rep in reserve mark, so maybe if you've got 1 rep left, is going to be the best way to train. And as the bold, steroided up meathead guy at the gym says, train insane or remain the same, bro. And he's kind of right. Ultimately, what you want to do is ensure that you're applying new stimulus to your muscles in the gym. You're getting stronger, you're going to the gym, you're either doing more reps or more sets. The reason for that is because if you go to the gym every single day and you lift pretty much the same weight, you're going to make some progress when you first start going. So the graph's kind of going to look like this shape. You're going to make some progress at the start, but eventually if you don't change anything, if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't increase the weight, if you don't increase the amount of reps you're doing, it is going to flatten out like this and you're going to make no more progress from doing the same weight. A way that we can visualize this is week 1, you might do 6 reps on 10 kilograms of bicep curls. Week 2, you might get 8 reps, like really you've got stronger on 10 kilograms bicep curls. And then on week 3, you're going to increase the weight to 12 kilograms and then you might get 6 reps on that. Week 4, 8 reps on 12 kilograms. Week 5, 10 reps on 12 kilograms. And then you increase the weight again. So you're constantly working through this range, increasing the weight, tracking your lifts, and that is how you progressively overload. If you start with me this long in the video, that is literally everything you need, lads. Do those things and you will make heaps of progress. In summary, eat enough food and track your weight, track your food so your weight is increasing on a week-by-week basis. Do enough in the gym, work hard enough so you're lifting more weight, progressively overloading on a week-by-week basis, and that is literally it. There's a link down below for those coaching sheets completely for free if you want to coach yourself, which is really, really important just to remain consistent, remain on it. If you don't want to get a coach, you can literally get the value of getting a coach just by doing it yourself. Link down below for my brand new cookbook recipe app that has just launched, training plan as well down below if you want that, and then obviously my sponsors as well. If you want to support me, 10% off Vanquish with code MO10. If you want to support me, drop the video a like, drop me a follow on Instagram as well, and I will love you forever. Peace out, I love you to bits. Thank you, make some gains, good night.